Hale infiltrated British forces on Long Island, New York. Unfamiliar with codes, ciphers, or steganography, he wrote his reports in Latin and hid them in the soles of his shoes. On his way back to the American lines, he was captured and searched. British officers had no trouble reading his Latin notes. Without benefit of a trial, Hale was found guilty of espionage and hanged from the limb of an apple tree. He was 21 years old. A month after Hale's death, the Continental Congress sent 70-year-old Ben Franklin across the Atlantic to try to talk France into joining the American cause. During the 7 years he spent in Europe, Franklin sent and received innumerable secret dispatches. With the British Navy preying on American ships, about half of the United States foreign correspondence ended up in enemy hands, so Franklin needed a really secure cipher. He settled on a system devised by Charles Dumas, a classical scholar serving as an American agent in the Netherlands. As a key, Dumas and his correspondents used a long passage from a French essay. They numbered each letter and punctuation mark and used the numbers as their ciphertext. The first sentence of the key looks like this. Using just this brief section of the key, a V can be enciphered either by a 1 or an 8, and an E by a 5, a 13, a 24, a 26, or a 29. Franklin got a bit lackadaisical in his use of the cipher, sticking mainly with the first 100 numbers instead of jumping around at random and enciphering only the most important words of the message. Still, the system worked well, which is more than can be said for one devised by another American, James Lovell. Lovell was a teacher, orator, delegate to the Continental Congress, an amateur cryptologist. He proposed a variation of the Vigenère tableau. Take a look at the version that appeared on page 43. In place of the column of letters on the far left, Lovell put numbers. He also used a code word as the key. Suppose you want to encipher the word hi, and the keyword is go. Run your finger down the G column until you reach the letter H. That's the second row, so you encipher the H as 2. Go down the O column until you reach the I. That's the 21st row, so the I is enciphered as 21. Though Lovell's system seems pretty straightforward, the cryptograms he sent to John Adams totally baffled the future president. If Lovell revealed the keyword in a letter, he risked having it intercepted by the enemy. Instead, he gave Adams clues that were themselves baffling. One key was the second and third letters of the maiden name of the wife of that gentleman from whom I sent you a little money on a lottery score. Another was the name of a family Lovell and Adams had visited. Adams replied peevishly, "I know very well the name of the family where I spent the evening, and have made my alphabet accordingly, but I am on this occasion, as on all others, hitherto unable to comprehend the sense of the passages in cipher." Abigail Adams complained to Lovell that her husband is not adept in investigating ciphers and hates to be puzzled for a meaning. When Lovell asked her to help John master the system, she replied, "I hate a cipher of any kind, and have been so much more used to deal in realities with those I love that I should make a miserable proficiency in modes and figures." Nevertheless, she made an effort and proved much more adept than John. Though Lovell's cipher was a failure, his code-breaking skills helped win the Revolution. In the fall of 1781, the Continental Army had General Cornwallis and his troops surrounded at Yorktown, Virginia. The Americans seized a secret dispatch from the British commander Sir Henry Clinton and gave it to Lovell to decipher. The message was written in 3 different ciphers, and it took Lovell 2 days to break it, but the result was worth the effort. The dispatch said that the reinforcements Clinton had promised Cornwallis would be late. Armed with this knowledge, the Americans kept up their siege. 5 days later, Cornwallis surrendered. Most American generals and diplomats of the time distrusted ciphers. They preferred nomenclators or invisible ink. George Washington imported a special ink, or stain as he called it, from London. The general customarily put his secret messages between the lines of a phony text written in regular ink, but some of his spies wrote on an otherwise blank sheet, then hid it inside a sheaf of ordinary paper. Benjamin Talmadge, director of Washington's secret